All right, guys, and welcome to another edition of the Reality After Show. I had to sit here and think about that for a second. I almost said the other name. We are now known as the Reality After Show, and this is Big Brother coverage, Big Brother 24. I'm your host, Bobby Goodsby, and joined, as always, by my amazing co-host, Mr. Brent Wolgamott. Brent, how are you?
That was a great Bobby is lagging a little bit occasionally, but we're gonna work with it. It was the great Brent Wolgamott. How you doing, Brent? I'm great. I'm back. I've been traveling. I went to this amazing place which I'd never even heard of called Falling Water. Don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It was built by it's a house that was built by Frank Lloyd Wright. My boyfriend dragged me to Pennsylvania, 100 miles from nowhere and 50 miles from any place to go see it. But it was fantastic. It was a great piece of architecture. And I was like, I have to be back by Thursday night because I missed last Thursday and I cannot miss this Thursday. And we have to talk about this twist. So yes, I'm back and I'm caught up. I know exactly what's going on. So I'm here to talk about it.
All right. And we also have my other co-host to my, I guess on here it's my right, but in my vision, it's to my left, Mr. Alex Rubino. Alex, how are you doing?
I am doing better. What's a stupid thing Jasmine would say? Better than some burnt ends on a hot day. I don't know. I'm happy. She's gone. She's gone. Oh my goodness, she's gone.
Thank God,
my God.
Right? It happened.
She's gone.
Forever. Okay, moving on. Yes. Okay. Look, I'll say this. So let's talk about inside first. I feel like let's talk about inside because then I'm sure we have a lot to say about outside. Okay. So
yes. Right.
So we haven't been here in a week. We saw what the results were for the HOH competition. I haven't been here for 2 weeks actually. Alex hosted by himself last week, so that was amazing to watch you do that, by the way. I did see snippets of it, although I did not watch it. I have owned that I did not watch it. I'm just being real. Okay. So watching two head of households be crowned and then to realize that, okay, you're either going to end up outside or inside was definitely something I'm sure no one was planning for. But then once you start to realize the ramifications of this twist, like we went into this twist going as a fandom, I feel like saying, wow, this could be really, really fun. I'm excited for this, depending on how it shakes out, depending on how they run it. But I think the thing that everybody forgot on the way to the theater is that Final Five Big Brothers are not usually that fun. Like, they're really not. Like, I can think of like Big Brother 17. That was a fun Final Five, okay? Where Austin gets blindsided and Steve, the eventual winner, stays in the house. I cannot think of many other Final Fives where something amazing has happened, where, you know, the person off the block wins the veto and forces somebody else to go up who never would have gone up if the HOH had their way, kind of thing. And we didn't get that result in either side of the house this week. So I feel like the producers didn't anticipate how boring Final Five can be because it really slowed down the feeds. I'll say that. The feeds were kind of boring for the week. I watched a lot of them before I went to Pennsylvania on Tuesday. And I didn't really live for it. I will say the twist as a twist, I feel like worked fine, and it gave the producers what they want. Okay, let me ask you guys to do this, all right? Take a step back from the fandom and look at the way the fandom normally feels about a big alliance running the game throughout the entirety of the season on Big Brother and how we complain about it year after year after year after year. And finally, we get to this week where they split the house in two and people can't even talk to each other for an entire week. And those two groups bond with each other. And in fact, both groups have disparate looking outlooks on what the remaining part of the game should look like and who's working with who. The inside people think that the leftovers is still a thing. The outsiders know that it's finito, okay? It's given the fans, meaning us, what we wanted, which was for a big alliance to be split up and start to eat each other. And there are people who are gaming harder than other people are, and there are people who are resting on their laurels. I can say this without getting into what's going on outside, that I feel like some people played better than others, and other people really dropped the ball this week, including one of the people that left. I don't really feel like Jasmine did, so that tells you who I'm talking about. So let's talk about the twist and how you guys felt about it, and then let's talk about the inside of the house.
All right,
go ahead, Alex.
I'll be honest, I like the twist. I did. I wish it was maybe a bit earlier and they could tinker with that in the future, but I didn't hate this. And if you do it once every few years, I can live with it. I think it created some interesting scenarios. Obviously, you're putting people together who might not have otherwise been together. It got the big alliance to break up, which I wanted. I know a lot of people were rooting for the leftovers to keep going, which I've been saying, no, break them up, get me some interesting drama. I don't care if I like even all the people in it, which I don't, but listen, I would have rather lost, say, like a Turner over, or maybe even Kyle or Terrence, but whatever, over Joseph.
Right.
But I'm okay, and I'm okay losing Jasmine, although I would have rather maybe lost Monty. But I still enjoyed the twist. Yeah, the feeds weren't great now, but overall, I think I liked it. I've been happier with the twist this season than the others. Bobby, what say you?
Yeah, so first off, I'm probably going to glitch a time or two, so just bear with me. But I'm going to keep my answers short and sweet. I like this twist, and I agree with you, Alex. I think it just needs to come sooner in the game. I think at the jury phase, it's a little too late. Yeah, there it is. I think at the jury phase, it's a little too late. I think that this is a pre-jury type of twist that they need to adjust with, and I think it could really work pre-jury.
But when do you do it? Because I mean, obviously, I think 14's way too early because they're just in the house. 10 is too late, we're saying. I mean, I think 10 was actually okay. But 12 is like midway, is one person would be in jury, one person wouldn't be in jury. So that's the only part that I think complicates doing it at 12. But Brent, what would you want to see?
No, you go ahead, Bobby, answer. He directed it. I mean, the question was yours.
Yeah, I just think that at 12, it could work really well because then there could be some kind of competition where one person makes jury and one person doesn't. And I think that would be a cool. You can make it where it's a competition, even though you're both evicted. Maybe one person can get back in the house and the other doesn't, or something. Some kind of twist there that can make it a little more fun and a little more appealing.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility, and they're always looking for competitions on this show. They're always looking for things to do on a live show that are time constrained, that they know how long it's going to take, that they think they can get a big buzz out of on social media. So a competition for, somebody's going to be in jury and somebody's not is definitely something that I think could work on this show. So, I don't know.
One question I want to just take right off the bat, honestly, is do we agree that Joseph got outplayed?
100%.
Or got screwed by the twist? I think the answer is both.
No, he didn't get screwed by the twist. No, I don't think he did. I'm sorry.
Let me say this. If that group of 10 is playing, does he get nominated? Maybe.
But there's always twists in Big Brother.
No, let me finish. I agree with you. But I'm just saying the fact that he probably doesn't get nominated and likely doesn't go home. In that way, he got screwed by the twist. Did he do anything to help his case this week? No, he literally said, "Oh, all right, I'm in a little bit of a hole. Let me dig it deeper."
Well, I don't. Okay, so So do you want to just talk about outside since that's because literally nothing happened inside. Literally, the only thing that happened inside.
Why are we bothering?
The only thing that happened inside is that Jasmine went home. Obviously, Monty got shown a little allegiance by Michael. Michael wants to keep Monty in the game because he is a shield in front of Michael potentially. Brittany knows that Taylor spilled that she might want Michael out of the game sooner, but Brittany intentionally did not spill that information to Michael. Brittany actually held something back from Michael because she did not want Michael to change his mind in terms of wanting Monty out, because Taylor and Monty were, opening the possibility of Michael going at 5 or sooner, and Brittany knows that, and she did not bring that to Michael. Michael thinks that they are, leftovers till the end, and we're going to go to the end together. So the fact that she's holding on to that card because she wanted to make sure Jasmine left, because Brittany wanted to make sure Jasmine left because Jasmine is taking up the spot in the final 2 that Brittany wants. Brittany wants to be taken as the GOAT. Jasmine would have been taken to the final 2 as the GOAT. That means that Jasmine is in Brittany's way. That's why Brittany did not tell Michael about people plotting against him, because she didn't want him to change his mind on the fact that Jasmine needed to be the one to leave this week. So that's what happened inside. Now we can talk about outside, and we can come back to inside if you guys want to talk about it. What I can't remember who tweeted this. I want to say maybe it was Cassie or something, BB Updates or on Twitter. Something to the effect of, whenever you're playing Big Brother and you think that a showmance is going to betray, maybe it might have been Terrence, actually, if I'm being totally honest. If you think that a showmance is going to betray their showmance partner early on in the game or in the middle part of the game, basically anywhere before the final 3, you're smoking crack. And I feel like that's where Joseph dropped the ball. He actually thought that Kyle was willing to vote out Alyssa when he knows that they've been doing the raw dog in the have-not room. And that is smoking crack. There's no way I would expect that if I were in the Big Brother house. I would know that Kyle is going to side with Alyssa over the boys. He's going to do that, okay? So I don't understand why Joseph didn't anticipate that Kyle, who he knows has been skittish about being on the block, why he didn't anticipate that Kyle was willing to immediately throw him under the bus the minute that those picks were made and they were in the Dire Fest and the people inside were inside. I don't understand why Joseph didn't just say to Terrence, this is what's been happening. This is what's been going on. But Kyle has been plotting against you, Terrence. He wanted to make sure you went home last week instead of Alyssa. Spin it in such a way where Terrence feels like that Kyle has not been truthful with him, and get to him first. But the problem was Kyle got to him first, and Kyle outplayed Joseph 100%. And then you even saw in his goodbye with Julie Chen in his interview, he's saying, "Oh, I wouldn't have changed a thing. I would have done the exact same thing," which I think is a load of shit. I think he's just saying that to save face and because his game is now over and he wants to look good to the fans. I think I think it is eating him up that Kyle beat him to the punch, that he was playing for Kyle and Kyle was not rocking with him. I think it is absolutely grating him that Kyle betrayed him this week when he did not betray Kyle initially. Go ahead, Alex.
I mean, I agree with you there in that I think it's eating at him, but I also think he kind of is just like, I don't know if he's going to be able to take the blame. I almost think like he's going to be like, yeah, I should have maybe said it first, but Kyle but the situation. I don't see him as a person who's really going to take ownership of his mistakes in the game and be like, oh, I played a loyal, honest game. We'll see. We shall see. And yeah, I completely agree with you on the showmance aspect. I mean, like, they're completely inseparable. And do you think even if Kyle is like a game bot, do you really think Kyle's a game bot? No. Kyle's playing with one thing and one thing only at this point, and that's his genitalia. So
he's playing with his dick. Come on, this is NSFW. Yeah. What the fuck? We're not on
right. I can say that here.
Reality after show, actually.
Yeah,
we do.
He's thinking with his dick. And I don't understand how I thought Joseph was a pretty good player, and I don't understand how Joseph didn't anticipate that Kyle is thinking with his dick. He 100% is.
He's not the only one.
Although, to be honest, Alyssa is a fabulous goat. Like, she has 2 brain cells and they're not even working. Like, she is the most worthless player I saw somebody on Twitter say that Annalise might be better than Alyssa. No. And I have to say I'm inclined to agree.
No.
She was more fun. At least Annalise was more fun to make fun of. I mean, what do we have on Alyssa? What would her Big Brother comic be, Alex? Please tell me.
I don't think we want to know.
Give me some time to think, Bobby. Why don't you go for it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the biggest fault that Joseph did was he didn't get there first. It really came down to who was the first to talk to Terrence. Terrence is one of those guys that he will take any information given to him, whoever comes to him first, or maybe even who's the last in his ear, and more so I would say first, gets that info in, and that's what sticks. He doesn't really think for himself. he's kind of told what's the plan or what's happening, and he takes that as the truth. And so the fact that Kyle got there first and was able to save his showmance and save his own game, I think that was huge. I think, hell, I wouldn't have wasted any time. I would have been like, Terrence, I need to talk to you now. Like, there's no reason for us to even walk around this place and take a tour. We know the backyard. Come over here with me. I got a lot to tell you. It was basically who talked first, and that's who would have been saved.
Question for you both. What would have been the optimal move for Terrence in this? Is it splitting up the showmance? Is it just getting Joseph out? What do you guys think?
No, I think Terrence made the right move.
I don't
really
think there
do. Yeah, I mean, I do think there's an optimal move, and I think that he made the correct one. Once it was exposed that Joseph and Monty joined Terrence or had Terrence join them in order to target him, I don't think that you can believe anything that's coming out of Joseph's mouth. I think that he made the correct move in getting rid of Joseph. I think that the showmance is always going to be a target in front of Terrence. I know that him and Turner are saying we're going to rock with the showmance after party Final Four, but I don't really believe that that is true. I can't believe. I mean, Terrence at least has shown some game aptitude. He knows going to the Final Four with the showmance is a horrible idea. So I can't believe he'd actually go through with that. But for now, he knows that they're a shield in front of him. And going into this week, if Alyssa was gone, it was going to be Terrence and probably Kyle on the block. But with Alyssa there, it's probably going to be Kyle and Alyssa on the block if somebody from the inside wins HOH. And if somebody from the outside wins HOH, Turner is good to go, man. So I'm rooting for somebody on the inside to win HOH because then all the tea is going to be spilled. Kyle is going to rat out everything that happened. Turner's going to rat out everything that happened. Terrence is going to rat out everything that happened. And everybody's going to be on the same page. But if somebody on the outside wins, we're going to have to put up with this facade that the people on the inside don't know about what's happening on the outside. So yes, in answer to the question, yes, I think he made the my microphone needs a hard on. What's going on here? But it's flaccid. What is it? Why is it doing that? I have no idea. Anyway, point being that Terrence made the best move. Go ahead,
Bobby.
Okay, yes, personally, I feel like there wasn't a optimal move no matter what he did, because I think no matter the situation, he's still screwed. He's still at the bottom of any plan that would have been there for him. However,
but that's the thing though. Can I just stop you? Like, I don't think that Terrence is at the bottom of any plan. I don't think Terrence is on the plan at all now.
Yes.
I think once all this comes out, I think they're going to be so mad at each other. Terrence is like guaranteed Final Five at this point. I don't see anybody coming after him for a few weeks. I really don't. Why? Like you can't tell me that they're all of a sudden going to be scared of a man who pushed a few buttons and stacked some paper plates or something like some styrofoam, whatever. Anyway, y'all saw the outside competition. It was
takeout containers.
I saw somebody. This will be my one time to get it in on every podcast. I saw somebody that said Sequester had more money than the outside competition for Big Brother did, and I have to say I agree. That was pretty lame.
Yeah, two things.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Bobby, and then I'll go.
Well, no. Go ahead, because I got something.
Oh, come on, somebody go.
Go
all right. Yes. All right. Shut up, Brent. I think Terrence's game is probably in the toilet, and if anybody gets to the end with him and Alyssa, they're winning, no question asked whatsoever. So that's probably their optimal move. Terrence, I think, got to the right answer in the very, very wrong way.
Yes. Yeah.
I agree
with that.
Getting Joseph out, good. The way he played it to get there, oh God, was none of it was good. First, putting Turner on the block, why? Like, just so much of it was dumb. Joseph, Kyle, the two big threats. That's it. Move on, or maybe put Alyssa up instead of Kyle. Fine, regardless. Joseph and somebody not named Turner, and just move on. And go easy week. We get Joseph out. Goodbye. We're done. Go home.
Well, I sort of disagree with that. I was fine with his initial nominations. I just didn't understand why he changed. I didn't understand why he changed it in midstream. I never really got a clear answer why he decided to use the veto on Turner and then put Kyle on the block, who just spilled his entire game to Terrence.
Yeah.
I mean, that made no sense to me.
I think it's almost like he wanted to correct the bad move, But by correcting the bad move, you just made another bad move. Because I think honestly, his probably best move would have just been putting Alyssa up and saying, you know what, I have to put her up, but I know Kyle's not going to vote to get rid of her, so Joseph will go home anyway. Because in that point, yeah, you have Kyle on your side, and Turner was like, he said Turner was his best ally, and Turner, at least to him, was loyal to him, and might have been a little bit. You put Turner on the block, no, I don't give a shit about you anymore. So he's lost Turner. He's now lost Kyle. Who's loyal to him? Who gives a crap about him? Maybe Turner.
I guess that's where I'm at, because they've had like 4 or 5 days to bond, and even though he played it badly, I do feel like that at least nobody's coming for Terrence right now, and I don't think the inside people are going to buy
Terrence. Logically,
okay,
who would come for Terrence besides Taylor?
Well, we said that about Jasmine, and look, they got her out. So I feel like the leftovers were picking people off. They were going to get Terrence out, but now I feel like this has changed the calculus.
But Jasmine, at least, like, to them, was like a little bit social, had a little bit of a game. Terrence doesn't really have much of a game. Listen, this week has been probably his best week, winning these competitions.
Yeah.
Getting himself in these alliances is something. But I'm sorry, Terrence does not have a damn game whatsoever. So, yeah.
Well,
there's no reason to
Go ahead, Bobby.
Let me ask you this. So he basically lucked into the best position possible. I doubt he wants to take a final 3 and have the showmance in the final 3 with him. I'm talking about Terrence here. So let's just be hypothetical. Terrence is with Turner and Alyssa in the final 3. Do we think Terrence can beat either of those or both? Like, what is your guys' honest opinion? Because he might have lucked into the best situation possible.
That might be his best position. I don't think I think Turner wins that, and it's probably not close.
I don't know. The way the house looks, they don't really respect Turner's game. They think he was too much with the bros.
Yeah, but against Alyssa, who did nothing and is maybe getting Kyle's vote, and maybe Jasmine and Indy, or maybe they go Terrence even. I don't think either of them win.
That's his best out.
Yeah, it's his best out is if he's up against Alyssa at the end by some miracle.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, see, he might have
that could happen, because I do feel like Kyle is the face of the opposition, and if stuff comes out, first of all, the inside people are not going to be stupid enough to believe the lie that the outside people are trying to bring to the table, which is that Joseph was the one who initially spilled everything. That's why they had to get Joseph out. I think they're going to smell it. They're going to smell the bullshit. They've been primed to think, okay, if anybody comes back in this house, if anybody has been eliminated from the outside except Alyssa, 100% we're putting Kyle and Alyssa on the block. Problem is, now they don't have Turner. So now 3 people, Brittany, Monty, or Taylor, have to win HOH. If they don't win HOH, I am nervous about what's going to happen. And I will say this, if I want to see what happens if Turner wins HOH, because if Turner wins HOH, he's going to have to show his cards. If Kyle wins HOH, I feel like he could get away with like putting Terrence on the block as a pawn up against Monty and get Monty out, because, you know, Kyle is so threatened by the blackness of it all. You know, that is like something like that would be very Kyle. Okay. And then he could secretly be working to get Monty out of the house. And I haven't forgotten about you, Kyle. I'm just saying everything that Kyle, like, that's sort of been swept under the rug because he's been working with Terrence. But Rick, remember the whole, and I will give credit to this. I saw this. I can't remember who it was. I think it was with Liana. I want to say it was Liana and Terrence on their update on Saturday, when they talked about the fact that, that Kyle had a 100% solid dude in Monty, and he traded that in for Terrence and Alyssa, 2 people who are not solid. And the whole reason why he did that was because Monty was black. Like, period, end of story. That is exactly what happened. He was threatened by the fact that Monty was black and was working with other people of color in the house. And I have to say, I don't know how it's going to feel now working with Terrence. Is he going to get less flack from social media because of that? Probably a little bit less, and it's going to look a little bit better. But that's where all of this emanated from in the first place, when he decided to say, like, hey, I can work with Turner, I can work with Michael, I can work with Brittany, because it felt very anti-Cookout to me. And I know people don't want to hear that's where it started, but that's where it did start, with Kyle being, you know, a little nervous about being with the leftovers. And he was the one who was first willing to jump ship. So like, the fact that he now jumped ship is not a surprise to me. What is a surprise to me is Turner following suit and saying, fuck the people inside. I'm with the people outside. Maybe it's just like the heat exhaustion of being stuck out there. You heard Turner talk about how it was Lord of the Flies. I think he said that twice, where, people outside were suffering and how he's bonded with these people. I'm hoping once he gets back inside that Turner, if he actually won HOH, that he's forced to take a stand. And I'm hoping that he can keep the leftovers safe, or at least, some people we care about safe, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. Two things. I think Kyle was able to work with a black man who isn't threatening to him at all. That's okay.
That's
true. But he sees black man and woman and Monty and Taylor that are good at the game and could threaten him in any way, and he's like, oh, I don't want the cookout to beat me again, even though it's two people. Like, they can't beat me. Regardless, the other point, I'm not so sure about Turner. I really think I'm leaning more the heat exhaustion route, that he is going to wake up and be like, are these the people I'm really going to align with? No. I think he might have them in his back pocket if he plays it well, but I think he's going to go back to the leftovers, probably expose Kyle and let Kyle be on the outs and try to work with that group before. And if he's smart, he throws that HOH. He does not win it. Do not win it at all. You are safe if you don't win it.
Yeah, it's going to 100% come down to who wins the competition, because I think there's a real shot if Kyle wins, Alyssa wins. I really think that there's a chance Turner sides with them still just to save his own ass. I agree. He can't win this HOH. There's no reason to win this HOH. I think he knows that. Now, if it comes to the other side, I can see him just throwing the Kyle side under the bus and having no problem doing so. So I think it really determines who wins, and that's the side that he's going to go with. I think he's playing great in the middle because he kind of has to right now.
Okay, Brent, cool. Sorry, I got distracted. I was just making sure that there wasn't an HOH yet, but apparently they are going to start the HOH competition soon if they haven't already. So we are going to get maybe by the end of this podcast.
Yeah, all I've got from Hamster Watch is that things are quieter than most of us were expecting or hoping.
Well, yeah, that's because the outside people aren't saying what really happened. They're sort of pretending that, such and such thing happened. Yeah.
But who do we? Yeah, but all right. Turner's probably the most interesting HOH. Who is after that, and who do you not want to see HOH?
I don't want Alyssa to be HOH, because then I feel like everything can still be hidden. Like, because Alyssa could nominate anybody and people would accept it. If Kyle won HOH, I know people would hate it, but at least he'd have to expose his cards for the most part. He'd have to expose that he is betraying the leftovers. He might decide to put up like Terrence in a leftover, and that might get him out of harm's way a little bit. But I think he's going to have to show his cards. As I said, if Turner wins HOH, I still feel like he's going to have to pick a side. I do think that no matter who wins this week, except for Alyssa, that Terrence will be one of the two initial nominations. Because if the inside people win, he's definitely going to be a nomination, probably, unless it's Kyle and Alyssa. It could be Kyle and Alyssa. But if the outside people win, I think they're going to want to keep if Turner wins, if Kyle wins, I think they're going to want to keep up the facade that the leftovers are still a thing. They'll put up Terrence, and then they'll put up somebody like, Taylor or Monty or something like that, and say, I'm just trying to make it look good. I can't put up Alyssa because she's my girl, kind of thing, and who knows what happens then with I don't know how, I guess that'd be 5 people voting. I don't know. Like that would be crazy. Crazy.
Personally, I would love to see a Brittany HOH. First off, I want to see her take some kind of control in this house. I want to see her do something and earn, because honestly, yeah, she's got the veto from this week, but I really don't think she's done anything to prove that she can win, or that she's not just piggybacking off of Michael. So I want her to stand on her own 2 feet and win something and have some kind of power in this game and really show her cards, because I think she needs that, because she can't just be in Michael's shadow. And I understand that she's saying, making moves outside of Michael's shadow, but really, unless you win something, no one's going to really respect 100% of your game. So I would love to see her do that, and then just see what kind of move she wants to make and see which way this house goes with her as HOH.
Okay. I mean, I think Brittany would be entertaining, but am I the only one who thinks that Brittany is just going to be Michael's HOH? Just with her name on it? Like, I don't see her doing anything that Michael isn't not only okaying with, but basically telling her what to do. I think the same thing can be said about Alyssa with Kyle.
I think she has to, for the first time ever, not let Michael take control
But
of her
will
HOH.
she?
Everyone thinks she's in his shadow.
I agree with you, but what will she? And what move could she make that either Michael isn't like that?
Yes, we love your hair, Brent.
Hey, I'm talking to the chat. I'm not talking to you two bitches.
We're in the chat. We get to talk. Deal with it. And Bobby's there at least.
Sorry. I just think that in every way possible, people in that house are going to her with ideas about Michael or against Michael or with Michael, but they always consider her the right-hand man to Michael. They don't consider her own player, except for the fact that they need her as a vote. So she has really no stance in this house to win.
No, I disagree with that. I think she's in the same position that Steve was in Big Brother 17. It's just a matter of whether or not she's willing to make the big move at the end and cut the player that everybody looks at as been controlling her power throughout the entire season, and can she make a different move? If she got to the final 3, cut Michael, I think she wins the game. I think she can do that. Why are you guys shaking your head?
One, your hair does look very good, Brent, and I'd tell you if it wasn't. But I don't have enough faith. I don't think Brittany has that perception or is playing that well of a game right now. Where at least I felt like with Steve, and you could see it. You say Steve is playing his own game, and he is completely aware that he's going to be Vanessa's puppet. He's completely aware of that,
and he won stuff.
But he knew when to turn it on and win stuff, and he had a plan. And he was like, I'm aware that I'm going to be like her puppet, and everyone will see that. I think Brittany may be aware that she's Michael's puppet, but I don't know if she A, cares, or B, even if she does care, knows how to get out of it. And I honestly think she wants to get out of it. She needs to get Michael out sooner rather than later. Because I don't see a path for her otherwise.
I also think a great comparison. Yeah, I think a great comparison is also Brittany from season 14. I think, or not Brittany, excuse me. Dan's puppet, the Danielle. So I think she's a Danielle. I think that's exactly a great person to pick out of any season. That's exactly the type of game she's playing, but like almost to a lesser sense.
I think Brittany has some strategic capability. I really do.
I'm not saying that.
No, and I think she's capable, but I don't know if she has that that it factor we need in players to make that next step. Like, she's never going to be running an alliance. She's never going to be mapping out a plan to get her to the end of the game. She's not going to be playing 3D chess ever. She can play a decently good, straightforward game of Big Brother, but I don't think when the time comes for her to make a move, she can execute it properly on her own. I hope she proves me wrong. I don't see it. Brent, what's do you have any? Why do you have more faith in Brittany?
I mean, I guess she presents herself as a relatively smart human being. She seems pretty intellectual. I think she realizes she literally loses to Michael 9-0. Can we just stop down for a second and stop the Brittany bashing and I want to bash Michael for a little bit because I tweeted about this and I want to see what you guys think about this because I just just to be clear, it seems to be working thus far. So I'm not bashing him from a results-oriented perspective, but what I said on Twitter was that when you listen to Michael's goodbye messages, they seem so patently for jury votes. It seems to be like kissing the jury's ass. This is what you do in a goodbye message. You say this, 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 and this. You reveal this, this, and this. You reveal a little tidbit, and you tell them how much you love them, and blah, 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 blah. And these bitches are falling for it. And I'm saying bitches because it's Indy and Jasmine first, and Joseph didn't get any goodbye messages. So, I can't stand it because it's literally like copy and paste Big Brother. I have said this throughout the season. I've said this to you before, Bobby. I know I have, where I still feel like we have not gotten to who Michael is as a person. And not that you have to reveal, this isn't, Project Runway where you have to reveal who you are, or, RuPaul's Drag Race where you have to reveal who you are as a person. You have to be vulnerable in order to win the game. Obviously, you don't have to do that. but it would be nice to get to know him a little bit. And I still feel like it's literally like there's the real Michael, and then he's built up this little wall around him, and then everybody sees everything else that's on the outside of the wall. And it's just, you're great, you're fantastic, love you bunches. Here's what happened. Here's what we were in. Here are the people in the alliance. Cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. And it just feels so fake. And I would vote against him on that instance alone. Like, I don't feel any real passion for him emanating from his game whatsoever. But I cannot deny the fact that it's working on these stupid people in jury currently.
Here's what I'd say about that. Michael is doing this because I think he knows the people that he's dealing with. And I think that's been the biggest strength of Michael's game so far, is he knows how to approach everyone individually and talk to them the way they want to be talked to. It's worked great with Indy and Jasmine because he knows them well, and he knows that it'll inflate their ego and that they care about honesty. They're both saying that he was the most honest person in the game. How delusional is that? But they believe it, and perception's reality, and that's probably 2 jury votes he has right away. And Joseph probably thinks highly of him. That's 3. If he tries the same thing and tries to be kind of fake and superficial with a Taylor, that's probably not going to work. But I have enough faith in him that he will know who he's dealing with and won't be so copy and paste game body. If he doesn't,
I'm hoping.
If he doesn't, you're dead right. But it may not matter.
I feel like in order for Michael to reveal who he is, or to reveal some honest to God passion for the game, he needs to lose a competition and be vulnerable. Like, he has to be vulnerable in order for me to want to vote for him at the end. But the issue is, again, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what these people think. And these people are loving Michael. Like, they get, like, I haven't seen one person in their interview who didn't say something positive about Michael. They literally, like, they want to blow him and give him the $750,000. Seriously, like, it's that bad. So, like, I mean, go on doing what you're doing, boy. I guess it's working. And who am I to complain about somebody winning the game? I think it's a little boring. And I'm hoping that he gets into a fight with somebody. I'm hoping that what I want to happen is for the outsiders to reveal what happened on the outside to the inside people. I want something like, Brittany to win HOH that way, or maybe Monty. I don't know. Somebody on the inside. Let's say Monty wins HOH. And then the outsiders all start to throw each other under the bus, and Michael gets into it with somebody. That would be fantastic, especially if they reveal that because they were, like, coming into the house, they were saying that they were going to go after Michael, that Michael was their number 1 target. Michael was Turner's number 1 target. So I'm hoping that gets revealed and that Michael has something to say about it. But again, he'll probably keep his voice even at a lower pitch than what mine is right now and be totally and utterly boring while confronting people. Anyway.
Okay.
Bye.
So I unequivocally disagree with you on what your take on Michael, because I think Michael is playing exactly the game he knows that you should be playing. What is one thing Derek said you need to do? You need to listen more than you speak. And that's exactly what he's doing. We don't really know Michael because Michael's learning more about these other people in the house than he is talking about himself, which is exactly what they tell you to do. It's what is important to do. Might not make for great TV, but he doesn't give a shit. He's there to win $750,000 for him and his husband.
Yeah.
And guess what? If we don't know Michael in the diary room, that's not Michael's fault. That's the show's fault for not giving us that, for not asking him the right questions in the diary room where it doesn't matter. He's killing it in the goodbye confessionals. He's killing it in the game with his alliance and with Brittany. And it's just, honestly, in my opinion, he's playing a fantastic game. And it's exactly the game that wins. It's not a game for show. It's not a game to make Brent happy and be like, yes, bitch, we're doing this. It's a game to win $750,000.
Well, that's what I would do. If I was in the house, I'd make sure y'all were happy, and then I'd win the game.
And Brent, you are winning the game 0 out of 1,000,000 times.
Well,
Brent, I love you to death. You're not winning. You're not winning Big Brother, no matter how hard you try.
I want to go on just to prove you wrong. I want to go on and just.
I want you to, Brent. You know what? I want you to go on Big Brother, prove me wrong, and then come take me out for the best dinner I've ever had.
No, I have to say, in order for me to win, I'd have to be really, really boring, and I don't want to be boring. So. Yeah.
No, Brent, that's lasting all of.
It's such a bad cross to bear, you guys.
That's lasting an hour. Yeah. That's lasting an hour, maybe before feeds come on. Even regardless,
Brent, you're gonna get on. It's gonna happen one of these days.
Yes, but Michael, I agree with a lot of what you said, Bobby. I really do. the only thing that I think could even make his game better is if he was winning a little bit less. Because him losing now is almost pointless. I think the ship has sailed on him being like any bit of weak. If they don't know he's strong by now, they're all idiots, and maybe they are idiots.
I
But
concur. Yeah.
But he needs to honestly probably just keep winning, and that's just what's going to win him the game. Because at that point, normally you might say, oh, it's the comp beast versus like the strategic threat, and then he needs to show something. He needs to prove nothing to anybody at this point. They all know what he's capable of. The players who value honesty think he's honest for some reason, and the players who value gameplay know he's running circles around people. The only thing I think that's worrying is that he is such a giant threat. And at some point, somebody has to realize, oh, shit, Michael will beat all of us and beat us all badly. We need to get him out. That's the only way he loses. But I'm curious for both of you. Bobby, I'll start with you. Who's the biggest threat to take Michael out, and who's the biggest threat to beat him at a final 2?
Oh man, honestly, biggest threat to take him out, I would say, is Kyle. I think because Kyle is actually, I mean, it's tough because I feel like it's either Kyle or Monty. And I think with everything that's happened on the outside, I think the fact that Monty's now going to want to aim towards Kyle, I think it's kind of helped Michael's case because people inside the house are now thinking,
100.
okay, now you got to get Kyle. They can't trust Kyle. So that kind of really helped Michael in a way. But at the same time, the people on the outside of the house are trying to target Michael. So it really comes down to if Kyle wins HOH, Michael better be careful because he's probably going to be screwed. And if he, inside of the house wins, then he's got a really good shot of flipping this thing on Kyle and taking him out. So to win, I say Michael beats literally anyone. I don't think anyone.
Oh, I agree he beats anybody, but who's like the biggest? Who gives him the biggest run for his money in a final 2?
No one. And literally Michael beats anyone. But as far as that, I mean, maybe Kyle because that's only if people respect that he played the game. But I don't know with this house.
Yeah. Brent, what about you?
I am looking because feeds are back. We've got.
I'm checking Hamster Watch. We've got nothing major so far. I'll let you know. Tell me if
we have something major. Sorry, what was the question?
Who's the biggest threat? Who's the biggest threat to take Michael out, and who would be the biggest threat to beat him?
I think it's definitely Turner. I think Turner.
Yes,
I don't think Kyle will actually go after Michael. I think Kyle will go after Monty and Taylor. If you guys remember the way he's been thinking, like he's been thinking he could pull in Michael. Like I think that Kyle wants to rock with the people on the outside, but I think his backup is Michael and Brittany. So the people who are on the outside of that is Monty and Taylor. I mean, I just see no two ways about it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on Turner. I don't think anybody is taking him out this week. Turner's the maybe, and I think Turner has like a little bit of the strategic side and but also a little bit of the bravery to do it. I still find it funny though. If Michael's up on the block, I don't even know if he goes home, and that's a testament to the game he's playing. But yeah, I think Turner is probably the best threat to take him out. But to win the game, yes, Michael beats everybody right now. But
yeah, I concur.
To beat him,
Michael and everybody else.
Maybe a Jose, maybe Turner actually also could. I don't think he beats him, but like I think Turner could give him a run for his money and like get like a vote or two. I know. And that's why I say that. I get it. I mean, get a vote or two.
I know other podcasters were saying that basically Turner's drawing dead unless he's up against Alyssa and maybe Terrence. But I think that he does have such an amazing social game. And I think that with all these people starting to turn on each other and backstabbing, if he just sits tight and kind of lets it plays out and survives and then gets to the end and wins a couple competitions at the end, I think people will be glad to give him the money. No problem, especially if he's not the one pulling the trigger.
I concur. I'm with you on that one. I don't think that Turner's drawing dead if he doesn't get to the final 2 with Alyssa and Terrence. I think that there are people that he could beat. believe it or not, I actually feel like Taylor is somebody that he could beat. I know we all don't
Yeah.
want to talk about that, but I don't know that the house feels the same way about Taylor as we feel about her on the outside. I still feel like she has a little bit of credibility to build in terms of bringing a game to the table. If Turner got to the end, I feel like that more people might be willing to vote for
I'll be right
Turner
back.
over Taylor. Okay. I also think that Turner could beat. I think that he has a fighter's chance against any one of these people in the final two, except for Michael. That is the only person that he absolutely cannot beat. I just think that he is such a likable guy, and he hasn't gotten into any disagreements with people, and he's been, for the most part, pretty loyal. But obviously, coming back into the house, he's going to be a little bit snaky, it seems like. And obviously, Twitter's not loving him right now. But if he makes one or two moves in order to get himself to the end, I think he could make a valued case for winning the money at the end.
I think I agree with that. I think almost everybody has a fighter's chance if they're not up against Michael at this point. Maybe except Terrence and Alyssa, but who knows? I'm starting to think more that if Kyle somehow makes it to the end, he might have a case that would get him a couple votes. I'm not saying win, but he would obviously get Alyssa's vote, and maybe if like Jasmine or Indy get annoyed at him and they're like, "Oh, you were big in this alliance." I don't know. I'm trying to like make this interesting, but if Michael's up in the final two, it's not interesting right now. Nothing on the feeds, nothing big is happening, but Turner's been schmoozing Monty as he planned, saying it was very humbling being on the block.
Somebody that I follow on Twitter said that the insiders, the inside people, have decided in the last minute or so, like speaking privately amongst themselves, that they've decided to put Alyssa and Terrence on the block this week instead of Kyle. And of course, people are not loving that. What I will say to that is that's fantastic, because if it's Alyssa and Terrence on the block, you better believe King Terrence is going to go running to the insiders to tell them what Kyle did this week, what Turner did this week, how everybody spilled everything, and how he was just eating up the soup that everybody else was serving to him. So I have no doubt that if it's Alyssa and Terrence going on the block, that Terrence will save himself. Hell, Alyssa might save herself. She's still pissed at Kyle for lying to her for a month and a half. She's pissed about it. She was telling him earlier today, I know she still didn't vote him out of the house, but if it's her ass on the block, she might actually start playing the game. Who knows? You never know with these people.
And I don't see an HOH at this moment. Do you see anything?
I don't think they've played it.
Yeah, but regardless, I think Kyle and Alyssa would be interesting. I agree with you on the Alyssa and Terrence front, but then I want to see a backdoor. I want to see somebody take a shot, and that's what makes I think that's what would make it really interesting. If we have Alyssa and Terrence and that's eviction, well, we're all good. The leftovers are probably like, yeah, we'll make Kyle happy for one more round. We'll get rid of Terrence and move on, and that would be very, very boring in my opinion.
It would be boring, but it would move. I don't think it happens. If they decide to get rid of Terrence is going to spill the beans on what the fuck happened in the backyard, and then everybody's going to reevaluate, and then I think Kyle does hit the block. So no, don't think, in no scenario do I think Terrence is going home this week. I don't care who wins. I don't care what happens. It's either going to be Kyle. If something weird happens with the veto, it's going to be Alyssa. I think Kyle or Alyssa is going home this week. If an insider wins and Terrence feels like he's in danger, he's going to expose what the fuck happened outside.
I agree he could expose it, but it depends if he does it
and they've
first.
Been looking for a reason to put Kyle on the block. Why wouldn't they put Kyle on the block then, Alex?
I can see why you put Kyle on the block, but then you might take out Kyle. But if you end up with Alyssa and Terrence on the block at eviction night, I'm saying at that point, there's a chance Terrence goes home. Bobby, what say you? Say one of the leftover Jace people win HOH. Alyssa and Terrence are on the block. Somehow, some way, the veto doesn't get used, and we end up with those two on the block. Who goes home?
I think Alyssa. I think no doubt in my mind they go after Alyssa.
I agree.
Because they want to hurt Kyle. At this point, they want to do whatever they can to affect Kyle's game. That'd be the number one thing.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm curious if any of them want to like almost keep him at arm's length and are like, all right, we'll give you this for one more week. I don't know. I don't think it's likely. I'm just saying I think there's a shot. There's a shot. And also, do you guys want to take a commercial anytime soon?
Are we
Go
taking
ahead.
commercials? I haven't taken one in a while, but sure.
We
go
have
ahead.
we have 2 minutes,
Okay, hit it.
and then we could talk about more of the coming week. And I also want to give a little post-mortem to Jasmine and Joseph's games when we come back.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Enjoy Manscaped, everyone.
Support for Reality After Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. That's right, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that's about 12 million balls.
The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and oh man, is it a game changer. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies.
First off, the Lawnmower 4.0, this trimmer is the future of grooming, and dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever.
Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and has a 4000K LED spotlight that you need for a more precise shave.
Now, I have a dark shower curtain in my bathroom, and I've been looking for the perfect way to shave in the dark, kinda. Guess what? I found it! 4000K LED! No longer a problem. I got perfectly smooth, clean balls thanks to the Lawnmower 4.0.
It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code SURVIVOR. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Thanks for sticking with us through the ad break. And don't forget, for more exclusive Reality After Show coverage, visit realitypatron.com. That's reality, Patron.com.
All right, we are back, boys.
By the way, I have to stop really quickly because this, like I said, we haven't done a commercial in a week or two, or at least I haven't seen it.
Same.
I can't believe I just had to listen to Fairplay talk about shaving his nuts. Like, that's literally what we were just listening to, was Fairplay narrating how badly he needs his nuts shaved.
We've been doing this for this has been. I mean, obviously, it's a new ad because of the show name change. But it's the same thing, except now we don't hear Matt Bischoff saying jingle balls. That's the difference. It's the same crap.
It's crazy to me how we go from like 380 people watching live to 49 when the second the commercial goes on. It still blows my mind. And people are just like, "Oh, screw this! Fuck these guys!"
People are like, "Fuck you all! See you! Bye!"
Hey,
Oh,
we don't want to do it.
Slowly
We don't
grow
want to do
in
it.
here in a second.
It's just what we're told to do. So deal with it.
Watch,
I'm sorry.
Give it a few seconds, and all of a sudden it'll start glowing back to 300. It's like everyone walks away for 5 minutes and comes back to it. It's great.
I hope so. And yeah, we also don't have as long an ad break anymore. But regardless, what I want to do is I want to just give a little post-mortem to Jasmine, because honestly, obviously, her game was whatever. Her fake accent was whatever. Her fake injury was whatever. But I thought she was good entertainment this season, honestly.
Dude, she was. She really was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to just talk about it really quickly, I mean, she got a lot more likable as the season drug on, and we needed a little bit of levity, and we lost some of the kooky characters that we had early on. So, and some of the people like we absolutely love to hate, like Daniel, just took up so much of the oxygen for such a long time that I feel like not many people really got to know Jasmine. She definitely had some moments where she wasn't fabulous and has a little bit of a bullying / ostracizing streak to her. But I felt like she was the least bad of the wicked, if that makes sense, from that side of the house. I feel like she was trying to have a good time, and she was a great Big Brother villain. She was somebody we love to hate. You don't even think so? Why are you giving me that?
I just won't give you that, in that she doesn't feel like a villain. I get
If
it.
you're a
And then
feeder, if you're a feeder and you're into social media, she was definitely a villain. If you're somebody who's just watching the show and buying all the bull crap she's selling in the diary room, then you're not seeing her.
I don't get villain from her. Even watching the feeds and knowing what's going on, I just don't get like. You know what I mean? When I think of villain, I think of like evil intentions and like just enjoying, like maybe that's like owning being the villain, but she didn't do that for me. Like I want a villain who's like, I'm evil. I'm going to play this game hard and I don't care who gets in my way. That's the villain I want. We didn't get that, unfortunately, but I still think I think she brought, with you, some levity to the game, some humor, but Bobby, go on, talk about her first.
I think exactly what Nowhere Man just said. I think she was more of a heel than she was a villain.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I don't think that she was a true villain. I don't think that she was completely pure evil. But I don't think she was an angel. And I don't think she was even a full heel. I think she was just sloppy, but like a fun, sloppy heel. Like if that makes sense. Like it was someone who can't get out of their own way, really thinks that they're being great TV, but they're really getting, laughed at behind their back. And in a way that it's not like, oh my God, this person's the worst. More so like, what is up with this chick kind of thing. Like that's how it was. And it was fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. You guys know on this show how much I criticized her and how much I had a disdain for her. But I will say this. I had a lot of laughs because of her at her expense. So I will miss that in the house. So I appreciate her on my TV. Do I want her back? Probably not. Do I want to see her on like The Amazing Race or something? Hell no. But I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah. I think she had a good run and this run is over and I'm very okay with that.
Yes.
The fake accent, I didn't love it as much as it grated on me. It was like, stop with this act, even in the DR. Stop trying to fool me. But fine. The injury I thought was a little more funny, and I like tonight that in the diary room she admitted that she's like, I'm playing out my injury just a teeny bit of my way.
Yeah, I like that as well.
That was the first time I felt like you're being a little bit real with us, even.
Yeah,
but I'm like, if I can tell your accent is at least exaggerated, that's not good because usually I'm maybe not the best at it. But like it was so obvious. There was a little bit of like, you should nominate me because it's my birth month, my birth week, my birthday. Like funny, a bit much. And that's what I think I can say with Jasmine. She brought entertainment, and to me, sometimes she was a bit much, but I appreciate that she tried to play the game. Terribly as she did, she tried, she made an effort, she failed, she's off to jury, and I think that'll make. And you know what? I want Turner to get out next. That's what I want now. Turner, go. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought there was a chance in hell of there was a chance of that happening for a hot minute there before he took him off the block, and I was going to be excited about it if that happened.
But I want Turner to go soon, so he has to deal with her again. Because that.
By the way, Bobby, I know.
Great.
I know that you have a baby that you have to take care of, so if you have to leave, you're more than welcome to. But
no worries. If I need to, I will.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've talked Jasmine all to death.
Right.
Like we've given her due. Let's talk about Joseph. I think a lot of people forget that Joseph was an alternate coming into the season. Like he wasn't even on the original cast, and he probably is like one of the biggest breaths of fresh air that I've seen on Big Brother in a while. He was somebody who didn't really know a ton about the game, but I felt like was really smart, able to pick up cues really fast, and definitely realized his position in the game was worse, not better, during week 3 when the leftovers formed, and decided to make a run at it. I did have criticisms about his last week of play. Obviously the twist sucked. Obviously him ending up outside with Terrence sucked even harder, and then getting outplayed by Kyle. Who knows? Like even I would say I'll say this. There is a universe where Joseph throws Kyle under the bus and Joseph still goes home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a universe where Joseph throws Kyle under the bus. Kyle says something to refute it. Joseph ends up on the block, and Joseph still gets eliminated by Turner and Alyssa. Or maybe I don't know. I just think that just Joseph beating Kyle to the punch does not necessarily guarantee that Joseph was going to stay this week, because you saw from the outset of the diary rooms that Terrence was definitely pretty set on getting Joseph out of the house because he never felt like he truly bonded him, and he was threatened by how close Joseph was to Monty. That was the tea on that one.
Bobby, anything on Joseph?
Yeah, see, the thing with Joseph is I don't agree with a lot of the sentiment on Twitter and elsewhere that he was this amazing game player and how could we lose him? How could Kyle do this? I think Kyle played the game and he did pretty well in getting out a threat in Joseph, but Joseph never won anything. Joseph was never this big strategic threat, in my opinion. Does he seem like an amazing guy? Yeah, he seems like a really nice, genuine dude. But gameplay-wise, he was pretty meh, in my opinion. And I know the fans love him. I know people are obsessed with him and we're dying that he's getting, backstabbed like this. But that's a game, and that's a game he signed up for. And I don't have any problem with it because it's just how people have to do it. And especially in this situation, there's only so many people to be taken out. Do I agree with everything Kyle's done? No. But do I think that this was a game move? I do. And so as far as Joseph goes, he was fun to watch. I enjoyed him. Thank you for everything. Goodbye. Let's see what he does in jury.
Yeah. Joseph is one of those players where I think he, like you said, picked up the game as he went along, got better, and then failed at the end. Just flat out basically said, oh, I'm in trouble. Now let me dig my own grave even deeper because this was bad. And I didn't love his exit. It soured me a little bit on him. But I am curious to see if he played again, how he would change his game, if he would at all. Because if he would change his game and try to improve, he could be really interesting on a future future season. But alas, one quick thing. I do want to talk about the wall yeller and really get
I was going to say Nowhere Man keeps trying to bring him up.
Yeah. Bobby, go for it since I know you're in
No.
leave. But go for it.
I just think now here's the thing. I haven't been able to watch a lot of feeds this week and I have missed a few things. Can
I cut you off then?
Yeah.
Brent, why don't you explain the wall yeller to the listeners who may not have known what happened?
Oh, well, apparently, and I'm still like I have not seen the video evidence of this, but I know that this apparently happened. And somebody in the chat tell me if I'm wrong, but I am under the impression that somebody on social media went to the Big Brother house when they saw who the nominations were, and I don't know I can't remember exactly when this was, but they said Kyle is a racist, save Joseph. That was what was yelled over the wall. And I know this because after this happened, and maybe something else was also said, we don't know, Big Brother took the feeds down for like a day and a half outside. They took them down overall, and then they took them down outside for like a day and a half. We didn't even know what was happening outside. We were not even aware that Terrence, number one, used the veto. Number two, that he spilled to Joseph, that Kyle threw him under the bus and exposed the leftovers. We didn't get to see any of that on the feeds. It was such a surprise during the show yesterday when we saw that Terrence did that. So we didn't get to see any of this. So the wall yellers had the effect of causing music to be played by Big Brother, which, of course, if they're playing music, that means they can't show it on the feeds because then they have to pay for the copyright for the music rights, which they're not going to do because it's Big Brother and they're cheap as fuck. So they're not going to show us what's happening outside. So all we got to see was everybody inside, which of course sucked a lot of life out of an already boring week by only seeing half the house. So that is what happened. Bobby, take it away.
And people thought that because we weren't able to see stuff on the feeds, and this is stuff I picked up from the internet and from listening to other podcasts. So people thought that when Terrence put Kyle on the block in replacement of Turner, that there was a chance that we weren't able to see it, but maybe the wall yeller made an impact and was able to convince Terrence that obviously Kyle's wrong, not on his side. People are telling us that from the outside, and maybe they're trying to.
And I have to say, maybe the wall yeller did have an effect. I mean, to be honest, I still cannot explain why Terrence did what he did. It doesn't really make sense if you're going to get all that information from Kyle and then play him against Joseph. Why don't you just do that from the outset? Then again, Terrence is not the brightest bulb in the box, so who the hell knows what he's really thinking? But I'm just saying that it does make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me while Terrence did this. And if you add in the fact that somebody said that and Terrence heard it, then maybe that was cause for him to at least say, you know what, let me remove Turner, let me put up Kyle. That way I have options going into the end of the week in case I get any more information, hint, hint, from the outside. Now, again, I don't know that that's what happened, but I don't think we should rule it out necessarily.
Guys, we all know this, the first wall yeller to get to Terrence's ear wins him over. Like, we've seen this time and time again.
That's probably
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my opinion on the wall yellers, you know what, honey, it's a part of the game. It's a part of the game. You have to deal with it. It sucks. But until Big Brother decides they're going to move the studio and put it somewhere where people can't get to it, and they have people outside, like, people are going to hear whenever anybody decides to take it upon themselves and use a megaphone and try to communicate with the house guests on the inside playing the game. Ever since Big Brother 2, when Nicole had to put up with banners being flown over the house and them including it in the episodes, it's been a part of the Big Brother fabric since as long as I can remember. The only difference now is that Arnold Shapiro used to show stuff like that. Alison Grodner doesn't want to show anything like that. She wants to maintain the facade that nothing is interfering with the game. And of course, that's not true. So, Alex, it seems like you want to say something.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing comments of, like, should they have mentioned the wall yeller to explain the week? No, I don't think so. No, because then I also think in some ways you're encouraging that and giving them screen time. So I would say no to that. And will they try a twist like this again? Maybe. Not anytime soon, but I think a few years down the road they could.
I don't. Sorry, Alex, I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't think this is I think this is the last time they'll do it with one part of the team outside. I think they'll figure out a different place to put them.
That could be fair. Although I don't know if I hate it this way as much. The other one thing I just do want to shout out with Joseph is he's one of the first Middle Eastern players we've had in a long, long time. And it's just a breath of fresh air to see him represent his community. He almost didn't make the show, as we all know. And I just want to give him a shout for representing his community, doing that well. And yeah, really, when you're in a position like that, you're obviously doing a lot more than just playing Big Brother like any of the three of us would be. I want to give him that credit where it's due. Yeah, that's really all I got there.
And one more thing. I've been to that house multiple times. I don't know where the wall yellers can do this from. Like, now, don't get me wrong. Every time I've come in from the front and the side. I don't know what's behind the building. Maybe that's where they're yelling. But I always think about this when I hear there was a wall yeller, and I'm like, where the hell did they yell from? Because it doesn't seem possible. And I don't get how they do it.
I will also say that the wall yeller is very rarely successful because most of the time, like, what you want to be communicated to the house guests is not what the house guests hear or perceive. And then on the retells, like, sometimes they get it wrong and they miscommunicate what you were trying to say. And then it falls on the people who actually heard it to tell people what they heard. And of course, the people who didn't hear it are not going to necessarily believe what was said on the outside or what they're being told was said on the outside. So, you know, again, it's just something you have to communicate, or it's something you have to live with as part of the game. Things from the outside being communicated to the inside. It's just something you have to live with. You know, I remember when Derek was winning Big Brother 16. I think there was a photo that came up that was like showed him in a cop uniform or something. Or I can't remember if this was actually a thing or not. But I remember
it wasn't a photo, but it wasn't a photo, but I believe it was a wall. It was either a yeller or a plane. And I remember his reaction and the way he was like covering everything up and distracting everybody immediately.
Yes, he was like, yeah.
I think it might have been a plane because he was like, "Don't look."
I think what they need to do is they need to make it like a dome or something, because I don't see there any chance that they ever move the house or change locations. It costs way too much money. First, the thing they could do is build a dome on it. Like, who cares?
That'll cost a lot of money, though.
It'll cost money, but not as much as moving the whole damn house and all.
I don't think they care. I don't think they care enough.
They don't care. They don't care.
They don't care. But also, I'm waiting for the day someone takes a drone and flies something over and drops it in the backyard. That's going to be the end all be all. Because someone's going to take a drone, fly it over, drop something in the backyard. People are going to read it, and they're not going to tell them fast enough to get out of there.
I think there's something in the contract about, or maybe like something in the rules about, if you did pick up a piece of paper that was flown on the inside, like you're immediately expelled from the game. So I think they're all going to. I think they're just going to run away from it. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
I don't know.
That'd be the craziest writing of a contract ever.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. We're really brushing the fire.
All right. Yeah. So last thing, guys. Do we like this twist? Did we enjoy this twist this week? Brent?
I'm gonna vote yes. I'm sorry. Like I feel like the twist worked, and it just didn't work the way the fans wanted it to work. It was intended to break up a big alliance. I don't think production ever anticipated that the fandom would love the big alliance for once. Like, we're always complaining about the big alliance. Even last season, people were complaining about the big alliance. So like the fact that it actually did its work, it accomplished what production wanted. I feel like the twist was successful, and it wasn't a bad twist from where I'm sitting.
Alex?
Same here. I actually really enjoyed this week. I wish we got more content from the outside group, because that was a lot more interesting. And maybe I wish like different people went home. Overall, though, very, very happy with the twist. God, I can't believe I'm saying that. And I've said that a couple times this season. But production is not screwing up as much as they used to. So far, so good.
Yep, love the twist. I think that it could have been played earlier in the game. I think something around pre-jury leading into jury would have been better timing for more players in the backyard and front yard, or in the house. But
I like your 12 idea. I like your 12 idea a lot with bringing somebody back.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that there is something there. I think that it needs a little tweaking, but this is something new. This is something fresh, not something revised or something we've seen before, just watered down. I do appreciate the try. Other twists this summer, not so much. But the one thing I would definitely say change, do random draw. Do not let them pick their teams. That made it a little more boring than it should have been. Had they been having a random draw and would have been random house guests on either side, it would have been great.
I kind of like, I honestly like the picking. I like the picking, but here's the change I would make. Do it the way Survivor does it, where you pick one person, that person then picks the next one, and you keep going like that. I think that.
Yeah, I like that. I think that would be great. Yeah,
because I always am a bigger fan, you know this, of give the players control. I don't want to hear somebody got screwed because their name wasn't picked out of a bag, and also that could really work in a boring way, where like, 5 people all in the same lot. Like, it could work in some boring way. I don't want that. I'd rather let them pick it, and if they're boring, then I blame them.
Gotcha. All right, so I think for this week, I think that's about it. If you guys can, come join us next week on the after the Thursday episode. We will be right back here on the Reality After Show. If you want to find us on social media, I have myself at Goodsby Bobby on Twitter. We have Brent at One Lucky Day, and Alex. What is it? Alex Rubino on Twitter as well.
Alex M. Rubino.
Alex M. Rubino on Twitter. Definitely check us out. Hit us up if you have any questions, and just be a fan. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like, give us a sub. It means a lot to the channel. It really helps us out, especially now that we changed our names. Getting the word out there would really, really help us out. So please tell your friends, tell your family, and we will see you guys next week.
Can I actually plug some shows we got coming up this week?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So if you're watching the Challenge USA with all our favorite reality TV stars, Alex Trias, Dan Monchel, and Johnny Fairplay himself are covering that. Survivor South Africa.
Well, I will say it had some of our favorite reality stars. Now I don't know. All the people left are the people I hate.
I use favorites in air quotes. It has people, and there are
Sarah Lucina, Angela, girl.
I love Sarah Lucina. I love Sarah Lucina. Angela, not so much. I love Sarah Lucina. Sorry, she's a great player. But that also Survivor South Africa is rolling on with 20 more episodes. I believe they're on episode 24 this week. Johnny Fairplay, Karen Coleman, and Tristan Ninabar are doing that coverage, I believe, on Fridays. If you want to be a patron, it's realitypatron.com. I got all that. Bobby, take us out.
All right. So for Brent, for Alex, I'm Bobby. We will see you guys next Thursday, immediately following the episode. Thank you all so much. Good night, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
And for more bonus content, go to realitypatron.com. That's right, become a patron now. Get additional coverage of all your favorite shows, the weekly Q&A, and you become a member of the secret, exclusive Facebook group. That's realitypatron.com.